Very awesome. As we like to say at Hook Hall, we have four walls and we get to do what we want within those four walls. And we want to do the most good possible as a community gathering space. And so what's exciting for me is some of the chefs that are coming are chefs who are hyper supportive of Hook Hall Helps when we first started. And so it only seems right that we support them in their initiative that they have with chefs Stopping AAPI Hate. And so we have a really great event coming up on Thursday night. We have Tim Ma, we have Eric Bruner Yang, we have Kevin Tien. We have Lila Wong from Teaism, and so we have an all-star lineup. There will be so much good food. And I went to AU, and we have I'm excited as an alum to have the AU Center for Anti-Racism coming in to moderate a discussion. So what's really important to, when Tim and I first started having this discussion about putting together this event was that it wasn't just about the food, but it was about how can we actually create conversation. And so we're going to have a moderated conversation where the chefs are going to have really just intimate fireside chats as their courses come out with the director of the center, Christine Platt. The goal for us is how can we break down the barriers of tough conversations in order to make them, really just more palatable and digestible and, bringing that with some good food.
And there's not a ton of space left, but you can still get some tickets to help support the initiatives too of Stop AAPI Hate. How do you get those tickets?
Just go to our website at hookhall.com. If you click on the events calendar, you'll be able to see the Thursday event right there.
That's awesome. And Hook Hall Helps, which is what you have been like around the world on and have gotten global attention for helping out people in the hospitality industry who couldn't afford food and supplies. What happens to that now that restaurants are starting back to open and you're going to eventually need that space to put patrons in? Like, what's the deal there?
Well, what we want to do is we know that there's a gap between reopening and when people really get that first paycheck. So we are looking at the timing for how we wind down Hook Hall Helps to correspond with, in June 11th is when the rest of the world, you have two different phases of reopening. Everything should be reopened by June 11th. And so what we're really looking at, Tommy, is how can we make sure that we extend through the end of the month to make sure that everyone who starts when those restaurants reopen, when those bars reopen, is able to get a paycheck under their belt before they have to, again, start to think about, we want to make sure people have the means in order to meet their food insecurity.
So is that the plan too, that Hook Hall Helps will be winding down, or is it going to just kind of go dormant until somebody puts like the Hook Hall Help signal in the sky? Like what's going to happen with the future of that?
I love that idea of a signal in the sky. Can we please get that giant gobo made? Put it on the Wilson building. That would be awesome. We're really thinking about how we continue to evolve. What's important to us is that it was a fund created in order to support workers at a time when they were in need. Workers' needs don't go away just because they suddenly are able to work again. And so how can we, we've been saying industry strong this whole time. How can we continue to help the industry to come back stronger than it was before? And we're looking at different training initiatives that we can put in place in collaboration with the Restaurant Association. How can we be there to continue to support workers as they start to navigate that new daily life?
I have a question on the workers, and I assume you probably have a lot of contact with people who work in the hospitality industry every day. Are you seeing this like work or gap that we're seeing, this shortage? Is it because people don't want to go back to work? Is it because people have left the industry? Is it because people are nervous to come back? What are you hearing just anecdotally?
A mix of all. I mean, a lot of folks, they no different than a lot of the restaurants, they pivoted too. And some of the thing that I love about anyone who works in this industry is that you have skills that can translate anywhere. Knowing how to deal with a drunk patron on a Friday night is a skill that is going to be insanely useful in the boardroom as well. And
I've always said that.
There's a certain level of diplomacy that hospitality workers learn intuitively just from, serving tables or being behind a bar. And so, I think that there is a lot of that transition that happened. At the same time, it'll be interesting to see what happens as more things reopen. And as, we heard yesterday, masks are coming off. And when you take some of the additional layers of stress away from the job itself, how does that transform people's desire and ability to go back into it?
And is Hook Hall hiring? Are you looking for people? Do you need people?
Oh, everywhere.
That's great news. Look at that.
We are hiring for all positions.
That's awesome. And what a great, you've really walked the walk and led by example. So talk about an organization that is just good to people. Last question before we wrap up. The second gentleman, what's he like? He's kind of like this Yeti who has just been like popping up all around DC, and he's come to Hook Hall twice, right?
He has been to Hook Hall twice. We were very honored to have him and the mayor come back in March for International Women's Day and to have a conversation. And then he came back with his crew again, his staff, his office staff, to celebrate getting through the first 100 days. And so it was such an honor to have him, and he has such a great team of folks who support him and who make the magic that we see on Instagram happen. And so super down to earth, could not say enough good things just about, it's, as I joke with a friend, it's like getting to hang out with your like friend's dad. It's, we're going to have a drink together and good conversation and, hear about what's going on at the office for him is also, Georgetown. So, hearing about him dealing with students and explaining things, and there's a lot of entertainment law behind a lot of what we do, and so it's been riveting conversation about force majeure that probably he and I are one of the few folks that would actually be interested in. So
force majeure, something we all learned about the last year, that and became armchair epidemiologists and armchair electioneers. We all learned a lot about a lot of things that we didn't think we needed to learn about over the last year.
I mean, we're also meteorologists in the hospitality industry now too, Tommy.
100%. Astrologists, all of the things. Therapist. Anna Valero from Hook Hall. Thanks for joining us. Good luck with the event on Thursday. And I can't wait to see you again in person really soon.
Coming up soon. Come to the Oasis.